But will there be? Are we talking about a special series of 2013, or will there be an actual episode, the 50th anniversary episode?
We're really not saying what we're doing now.
Okay.
We're being very. I mean, you will not be short of material. Let's put it that way. But we're not
Matt,
saying what.
Will you definitely be the Doctor in 2013? You're sticking around that long, yeah?
Well, I mean, I take it year by year. I've got a year left. We start shooting 13 episodes in February next year. So one assumes some of them will be transmitting in 20.
I mean, we should start shooting at least 14, in fact. If we're getting Christmas. But there's other stuff. But we are so early in this. We are so early in the process. I mean, I've only just discovered quite recently when Sherlock is going out. I've only just started writing this series.
When is it going out? Or has it not been announced yet?
No, New Year's Day. Goes out New Year's Day.
So that's when he's got the double. He's got Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Come on!
Crikey, yes. Moses.
I've got to do loads of questions of listeners, I'm being told, because... there's one from Caitlin Moran, the writer.
Oh, hello, Caitlin Moran.
In his travels, does the Doctor ever see Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap?
Well, the thing is, though, that Caitlin, is Sam Beckett's just made up, whereas the Doctor's real. So the Doctor can't make made up people. That would just be silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would just
He's just
devalue the whole
TV show, isn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, for heaven's sake. Wake up, darling.
Silly,
Wake up.
Come on. From Joe, how was performing with Orbital at Glastonbury? I saw it on TV. It was awesome.
Wonderful. They're great guys, actually, and huge Doctor Who fans. And that's how it all happened. They sort of came up and said, "We're massive Doctor Who fans, and we play a Doctor Who song. Would you come and play it with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And it's something I'll never forget ever. Wonderful.
Harry in Bristol says, please ask Matt Smith why Doctor Who has lost the ability to create new worlds. I don't quite know why he's saying that.
Okay. So why, for instance, let's say there was a planet called Five Live, why the Doctor couldn't go, okay, let's create a Big Bang and create Five Lives. When did he have the ability to create new worlds?
I'm trying to work out what that question actually means.
Same here.
Good question.
Is he talking about maybe that we don't go to other planets enough? Or?
I don't know. Was there an old incarnation of Doctor Who that create new worlds? Is he confusing Doctor Who with God? I don't really.
Well, it's an easy mistake.
It is.
I'm not quite clear on that one. He might be talking about how often we go to other planets, but we do go to other planets.
Yeah. But creating new worlds is an interesting idea.
Okay.
I'll have him think about it.
Dear Richard, this is from Sandra. I was wondering if Stephen and Matt might have time to make my son's Christmas. Lucas is 11 and was born with a rare genetic disorder. He has lots of health problems due to this, which have a big impact on his life. He also has childhood autism. Doctor Who means so much to him. He loves to create and draw new enemies for the Doctor to meet, and he writes stories. We've watched all of Doctor Who and the DVD sets. Lucas has memorised much of the dialogue.
Wow.
He truly is at his happiest when watching Doctor Who or talking about Doctor Who. I know you get lots of requests, but could Matt and Stephen say hello to Lucas? He is desperate to meet Stephen and talk about Doctor Who stories. We'll be at home this afternoon as Lucas attends school part-time at the moment, and we'll be at home listening to the show from 2 p.m. onwards.
Absolutely. Lucas, hello. I don't know where you're sat. You're sat in your house somewhere, being cool, thinking of stories, I imagine. Write them all down. And hello from the Doctor and Amy Pond and Rory Pond and River Song. And you never know, we might just come and pick you up and take you on an adventure one day. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Lucas. I don't think I can top that, but sitting at home making up Doctor Who stories is what I used to do, and sadly, it's what I still do, but for money.
With a
keep the faith.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, keep the faith, and it is the best show in the world. You are right.
You are cool for liking it that much,
absolutely.
mate. So Merry Christmas to you, dude.
So lovely, Lucas. He's 11 years old. How old were you when you started writing your own Doctor Who stories at home?
Oh God, I was. What age when I wrote my first one? I wrote one.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote a whole 4-part one at about must have been 10 or something.
Did
like
you?
That. Yeah, it was rubbish.
What was it about?
Well, I remember that the denouement. I wrote it with Billy McColgan as a friend of mine at school. Hello, Billy, if you're listening. It was about bird creatures, and I couldn't really work out a way to end it. So we had there was a control room that had a doomsday button in it, and it said in the control room, "Doomsday button, do not touch." And if you press this button, it blew up the planet. Never really worked out why you would install such a button. A good plan would seem to be don't have a button like that. But nonetheless, I blew up the planet with pressing the doomsday button.
Which Doctor was it?
It was Tom Baker. So I could work it out from that. I must have been 11 or 12 actually.
We need to just bring some news, then we'll come back and talk more with these guys. 85058. If you'd like to get in touch, like Lucas or Sandra, his mum there, then do. bacon@bbc.co.uk. We'll return to Matt Smith and Stephen Moffat after the news. Stephen, I was just thinking about that email from Lucas again, thinking that there must be, as a show, it fires kids' imaginations. It must have inspired quite a lot of people, I would have thought, to get into writing.
Well, that's why there's so many writers who want to write it. Seriously, there's a lot of people on television who are Doctor Who fans. I think Doctor Who is a unique relationship with children. They don't just want to watch it; they want to join in. They want to make up their own monsters, make up their own planets, make up their own doctors. Even I think I don't know why it works that way. It worked on me. It works on loads of kids. It doesn't just feed your imagination. You want to feed it back. It's extraordinary.
It was a great moment when me and Stephen went down to school for a thing called Script to Screen, and it was a group of children, wasn't it, that had written sort of 4 or 5 page episodes of Doctor Who set in the TARDIS, and then they got to make them. There's a competition. You must look it up online, guys, if you're listening. Script to Screen, and you get to write. There was, and you have to have a monster in it and stuff, and then they came up and we filmed it and we showed it on Doctor Who Confidential.
Great. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was
brilliant.
The Blue People had a competition, didn't they, where the kids could invent a monster?
Yeah.
The show. Was there a Douglas Adams? Did he used to script edit Doctor Who?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he wrote some. Yeah.
Who was his Doctor?
Tom Baker.
Oh wow! I wrote
several of them. Yeah.
And didn't he have a line about? Was it him who said something about the Doctor Who? It should be sort of complex. Easy for adults and complex for kids.
It was complex enough to entertain the kids, and easy enough for the adults to understand, something like that. It was better than that, but it's a
great way of looking at it.
No, absolutely.
That's sort of the truth of it, I think.
No, it is. Well, the way you watch kids watching Doctor Who, and they watch it ferociously.
They're rapt.
I mean, they're not sitting there chatting to someone and making the dinner. They're just sitting there saying, "Don't talk to me. I am sucking this through my eyes." So you've got to feed that. I mean, and the other thing is, you talk about complexity. Look at what kids are reading at the moment. Like what Joshua is reading, these huge doorstep novels, incredibly complicated stories. We've got to keep up with that. We can't just serve up that soap opera stuff. We've actually got to serve up stuff that kids will engage with and think is worthy of their big and fizzy brains.
I reckon there'll be a lot of kids out there who could better explain the Higgs boson than many adults at the moment. Because actually, that's quite interesting at the moment, that there's this sudden interest, isn't there, in what's out there and how it all works. That sort of dovetails, I think, partly with the appeal of Doctor Who, doesn't it?
Certainly, yeah.
I love the Higgs boson.
And the Hadron Collider, it's the coolest looking thing ever.
It really is.
The production design on that project is absolutely marvellous.
And Brian Cox, there's a man who just makes science. But I like that. He's a big Doctor Who fan,
Is he?
Yeah.
He was in last week. He was on the programme last week.
Isn't he?
We were talking a little bit about time travel then, because there's some Italian scientists have managed to fire some particles they think possibly faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
Thus, could time travel be possible?
I know. Imagine.
That would be good.
What would be the first thing you'd do?
Silence. Go back and find more old episodes of Doctor Who.
Smith is here, the Doctor. Stephen Moffat, the boss of the Doctor.
This is going to stick, isn't it?
Oh, no. I am your boss, mate. I am the boss of you. I know. That's how it works.
It's true.
I'm having a lovely afternoon. Let me say
Me too, mate.
Me too.
We're going to play some clips of the Doctor of the Christmas special, and so many questions coming in. 85058. I remember some years ago when Doctor Who was not on. So when did it come back? 2005.
Yeah.
So a year or two before that. And I interviewed Mark Gatiss because we mentioned him earlier. He writes some episodes, and at that point he's in the League of Gentlemen, and he was a big Doctor Who fan. And I was just talking to him about Doctor Who, and I remember it really stuck with me. He said, they should bring it back. And he said, the thing is, if you go back to the first ever episode of Doctor Who, it's all there. All of the ingredients are right there in episode 1. Is that true? If you were to go back and look at that, would you recognise?
Oh, it's extraordinarily true. I mean, and actually, the very, very first episode of Doctor Who is rather brilliant. I mean, it is really mysterious and creepy and extraordinary. If you take it, I take it a little bit further in a way and say that all the big poster boys of Doctor Who, all the really big stuff about Doctor Who that you recognise, the Daleks, the Cybermen, Regeneration, the Sonic Screwdriver, all of it's in place before the end of the 60s.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all there. It's extraordinary. I mean, we've got used to the idea of a box that's bigger on the inside. How brilliant is that as an idea? And it was a budget-saving idea.
Is that where it came from?
Why? Well, because we can't afford a spaceship, but we've got a police box. Yeah. It could be bigger on the inside. There you go. Best idea ever. Regeneration. How clever was that?
That's so clever.
Somebody was telling me we're at Television Centre today, and that's because I'm interviewing you guys later in front of the press for the launch of the Christmas episode. There's a props house here at TV Centre, which apparently is the oldest bit of TV Centre. And I was walking around someone the other day who's worked here forever, and he said, "Look up at the roof." I looked up at the roof, and he said that was the inspiration for the inside of the TARDIS. For the first, from when the show launched. And if you look up at the roof, I'll take you there later if you like.
All right.
You look at it and you go, yeah, okay.
Oh, fantastic.
For the very first
For the first look of the first TARDIS, the inspiration for the interior.
That big circular thing.
Yeah, where the big circular TV Centre, if you look at the ceiling, it's right there.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
it looks exactly like it.
I will spend the rest of the day gazing at it.
Listen, let's play a clip. So it's on Christmas Day. It is 7 p.m, BBC One. And here's a clip. So the premise is Claire Skinner from Outnumbered, her husband played by Alexander Armstrong. I'm not going to give too much away, don't panic. You've got a look of worry in your eyes here.
To leap across the desk.
I can say this much, that he dies and she's not told the kids that he's died, and they go off some big drafty old house, I think it's in Somerset, and there's a mysterious caretaker there who wears a bow tie.
Absolutely. That's the one.
That's a nice little summary, right?
Yeah, that's good. You may live.
Thanks. In this clip, we hear an explanation. I think it's probably Claire talking of explaining what they have to look to, and I guess it's you as well, talking about this new accommodation.
Lillian Cyril's room, I'm going to be honest, masterpiece, the ultimate bedroom. A sciencey, buoyancy workbench, a jungle, a maze, a window disguised as a mirror disguised as a window, selection of torches for midnight feasts and secret reading, Zen garden, mysterious cupboard, zone of tranquility, rubber wall, dream tank, exact model of the rest of the house, not quite to scale, apologies, dolls with comical expressions, the Magna Carta, a foot spa, Cluedo, a yellow fort.
Where are the beds?
Well, I couldn't fit everything in there, had to be sacrifices. Anyway, who needs beds when you've got hammocks? I know.
That's a lovely magical scene, which you can't fully appreciate in audio form only.
Perhaps not.
It has to be said,
because it's.
But my God, that would be cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. How long did it take you to write that episode, Stephen?
Well, do you know, that was at my the highest pressure I think I've ever had, because I just come off very, very speedily writing Sherlock, and then straight on to the Doctor Who Christmas special with no time at all to write it. So it was.
We all felt sorry for him.
I wasn't looking my best.
How fast is fast then to write that?
I don't know. I mean, it couldn't have been much more than about 3 weeks. I don't know. It was quick. I remember looking at the amount of time I had to get it in and realising I wasn't going to make it, so I delivered it in chunks and all that.
Oh, the bits of detail that you nearly put in there.
Well, that whole sequence when he runs around the house and he's done up this house, and I had loads of stuff about him having installed quantum speed Wi-Fi before he'd remembered that there wasn't any internet yet, and then put the hugest television in, but sadly television is off the air. So I did loads of gags. And I realised it was taking over the episode. He was just renovating a house, which
I just quite like to see as a sort of exercise, the Doctor renovating a house.
Well, that's what it'd be like.
Yeah,
it would be ridiculous.
Right. I interviewed Nicholas Lyndhurst recently, and he was talking about how he would wait for the Only Fools and Horses script because they were so good, and he knew what day it was coming, and he'd practically wait by the door for it to come through the letterbox. He'd rip it open. I mean, is it like that for you? Is it really exciting, Matt?
Yes, but I don't know what day it's coming, and I don't wait by the letterbox. But yeah, I mean, it's. But God, that sounds nice. Just getting it posted.
The old days.
But yeah,
is it exciting though when you read those for the first time?
It's it really is. It's the most exciting part of that I've had of being an actor, and also because it's that rare sort of occasion where you go, I'm still in it. I'm still talking. This is great. I'm in it all the time.
Haven't regenerated again, brilliant. Oh dear, I'm not looking well.
Here's a lovely, so many texts from so many kids off school sick and things. This is Nadia, age 11.
Hello, Nadia.
Hello. Matt Smith, do you ever get tired acting all day? She says.
Yes, and I grumble about it, but you mustn't grumble because I'm very fortunate to play a man with such exuberance and brilliance and energy and wit and charm and all the things that you wish that you could have in the spades that he does. So that keeps you energised.